I'm Greg Tran with Gregory Group Real Estate here in Austin, Texas. We get to help so many first-time home buyers get their first home here, and it's really such a gift to be able to help people because it's so exciting. When somebody's been renting for years, been paying the landlords for all these years, it's always such a nice thing to be able to settle down and get that first house. What we found, however, is that there's so much information and misinformation out there. Our clients always are going to be looking on the internet, Googling around, just looking for all the answers to their questions. But we found that there are a couple handfuls of questions that always come up with our first-time home buyers, and we wanted to give you the answer from actual agents, not just from random internet searching. I have about 20 questions here, so I'm going to split it into 2 videos, and today we're going to take about the first 10, and in the next session we'll take the next 10. Also, if you're interested, we have live Zoom Q&A sessions that we do for all of our interested buyers. And if you want to get your name on the wait list so you know when the next session is going to be, go to ggre.co/firsttime. So the first question, how much money do we have to put down for a house? You can put down 3% to get a conventional loan to buy a house. You can also use something called an FHA loan, which may be an option if your credit isn't the best. And with those, you can go down to 3.5% on a down payment. Also, depending on specific circumstances, like you may be a veteran or you may be looking for homes in a certain area. And with these, you can put down 0%. And with the right negotiations and closing costs worked out, you may actually be able to get into a home and put nothing down. Of course, these all depend on your specific lending scenario, on your credit and other factors. Let us know and let us connect you to some trusted local lenders who can talk you through the situations. Next question, how much should I put down? Well, we know you can go as little as 0 down, but should you? If you put down 20%, then you don't have to pay what's called mortgage insurance. And mortgage insurance is an extra little fee that you pay each month. And on a conventional loan, if you have at least 20% down, you don't have to pay that mortgage insurance. However, understand that even if you put down less, if you put down 10%, 5%, 3%, you do pay that mortgage insurance. But when you get to a certain point, when your equity in the home hits that 20%, then that mortgage insurance is going to come off. For many people, the down payment question depends really on how much you have to put down. Because you can balance it to where if you put down less, then your loan amount is going to be bigger and your mortgage payment is going to be a little bigger. Of course, if you put down more, then your mortgage payment is going to be less because your mortgage amount is less, but you have more cash that's stuck in the house. So are there first-time homebuyer incentives? So the answer is yes, sometimes, because these programs actually change a lot. And I don't want to say anything here and it changed a month later. So once again, if you have any financing questions, let us know and let us connect you to the right people who can get you the right answers for these things. What are interest rates looking like right now? Some of our buyers right now are getting rates that are in the 2s, 2.75%, which is just incredibly low and really the lowest it has ever been. Understand that your rates depend on different things. It depends on your credit. It depends on your qualifications. So you can't take this as a rate quote. This is something that you have to talk to a lender, and most of the time you're going to have to do an application to get a true rate quote. Also, the rates change all the time. There's so many factors that affect them. So from day to day, the rates can definitely change. Is now a good time to buy? The short answer is yes. Mortgage rates right now are the lowest they have ever been. If you, like most people, are borrowing money or financing to buy the house, then absolutely. This is a rate that you can lock in now for the next 30 years. And rates, they really can't go much lower than this. So yes, it's a good time to buy. Also, if you're looking at the specific Austin market, which many of our viewers are, then Austin is doing as well as ever. We're, of course, recording this in September 2020, so things change. But the Austin market has been strong for so long, and the Austin market just has so much demand overall with all the job growth, and we've always been in a short inventory situation, so the supply has been low. So it's just always been a very strong market. And even though it's continued to go up, all economists, well, I don't want to say all, but really most economists that we're looking at are predicting future growth for the area. How are taxes calculated, and how do I pay my taxes? So every home has a different tax rate, and it depends on different things like your city taxes, your school district, and those type of things. In Austin, a lot of times you'll see tax rates between 2.2 to 2.4%, and in other areas they can go up to 2.8. I've seen them up to 3%. But how it's calculated is you look at the tax rate for that particular house, and you look at what the tax appraised value is. So let's make the math easy. 2% tax rate, and the house is worth $300,000, or they're appraising it at $300,000. 2% of $300,000 is going to be $6,000. So that means on average you're going to pay $500 a month for taxes. It is a pretty big part of your mortgage payment. And understand that for most people, you're not going to be paying a big lump sum of that $6,000 at the end of the year, because if you're financing your home, then most of the time you have what's called an escrow account. And every month, what you pay is going to go into that tax. So you're just going to have one even payment throughout the year, and then the escrow will pay out for the taxes at the end of the year. How long do I need to stay in a house before I can sell and make a profit? There are closing costs associated with the sale that you don't have on the buyer side. So what we tell people is to estimate that when you sell a house, you're going to pay about, let's call it 7% in closing costs. So on a $300,000 house, if you sell it, you're going to have about $21,000 in closing costs, give or take. So, if that sale price is $300,000, then what you're going to net is closer to $279,000. So that's one thing to consider, because your house would need to go up at least that much before you can actually sell and make a profit on it. Another thing to consider is if you're actually living in the house, then how the IRS looks at it is you need to be living in a house for 2 of the last 5 years for you to not pay capital gains, or for you to get that exemption. So what that means is you need to be in the house at least 2 years if you don't want to pay taxes on the gains that you make on the home. Thanks for watching. I know this was only 10 questions and answers, but once again, if you're interested in getting a more in-depth conversation on this, go to ggre.co/firsttime and put your name on the list so you can be notified when we do our next live Q&A session.